Hi, my name is Claire Tillier and this is my review of the Under Armour HOVR Sonic 2 for RunRepeat.com. A couple of things before I start. One, Under Armour are a brand I know as a clothing brand, not a shoe manufacturer, so interested to try this shoe. Two, the gimmick of this shoe is that it's Bluetooth enabled. This made me slightly nervous because I find generally when you throw gadgets at stuff for the sake of having gadgets on stuff, it is to the detriment of the original function of the thing you've added the gadget to. So I'm not sure whether this would be a better running shoe if it didn't have Bluetooth in it or not. Three, this is the first day in about a month that I've been able to speak without sounding like I smoke 50 a day. So it's a bit delayed, so apologies for that. Four, I've had a bit of a calf issue. My physio recommended that I get shoes because I'm normally a barefoot runner, but I get shoes with some sort of drop on them, and this is 8mm on this shoe, and wear calf compression to try and take some of the pressure off my calf when I'm running up on hilly terrain, which is near where I live. Finally, I am a terrible runner. I mean, awful. I try really hard. I would get an A+ for effort every single time, but my technique is appalling. Imagine something like if you put running shoes on an octopus, like that. Yeah, that's me. I am that person. Just bear those things in mind when when you listen to this review, that's all I'm saying. First thing, Bluetooth enabled shoes. So in the box, there is minimalist instructions on how to connect these shoes to the Map My Run app. The instructions boil down to download the app. I already had it downloaded because although I never use it, why have one app when you can have 6 or 7 or 8 that do exactly the same thing? Connect your shoe. It should do it automatically. It didn't with my phone, but I just had to tap it a couple of times and then it recognised that the shoe was there. So that was simple enough. And 3, go out running, and it produces all these metrics that I'm not even sure that I need, like cadence and stride length and things like that, so you get all that information. There are full instructions on how to connect these shoes to the app on the website, so if you're a bit of a technophobe, don't worry, all the instructions are there, they're just on the website. I have been training for about 6 months to run a 100km ultramarathon. It is a hilly, traily ultramarathon, and these are road running shoes. I got them very late, about 3 weeks before race day. With my usual enthusiasm for new things, I thought, right, I'll try and run some of my race in these if they can make it through a couple of sort of 10-15km runs, which they did really, really well. I'll get to more about that later, but this shoe, very comfy straight out the box. I think other reviewers have said this too, and I absolutely agree. They have a very wide toe box, which is great for me because my feet are horrifically wide. They have a very interesting crochet effect, which I think is supposed to hold your feet secure. If it's not, then that is what it does anyway, so that was quite good. It has an inner, which I think they call a sock liner, but I'm not sure, which has a very pronounced arch support in it. Because I don't normally wear shoes, I found that slightly peculiar to start with, but I did get used to it quite quickly, so that was good. If it really started to irritate me, I would have just taken it out or swapped it for different insoles. As it was absolutely fine. They are very light, the shoes. I can't tell the difference between the shoes. I'm assuming one's got Bluetooth and one's got a counterweight in it, otherwise you'd have one foot heavier than the other, which would be a bit weird, but yeah. Very comfy, but no flex in this portion of the shoe at all. Just only in the toes, nothing here, which was odd. For someone who is normally barefoot, that was a bit peculiar. Very breathable. The meshes, it seems to really let your feet breathe, and the day all the runs I've done in these, it has been incredibly hot. So it's nice to have footwear that lets your feet breathe. The only downside in comfort to these shoes is that this back part is really quite sloped in. I wear 2 pairs of socks all year round because it's the only way I can find to prevent blisters. I still got, on my long run, a blister on the back of my foot. So if you wear thin socks or no socks, I would probably wear some sort of blister protection around your heel to start with, just until you've worn them in enough that they're not going to rub. Very light, very comfortable, very breathable, very bouncy. Again, I'm not used to that because I usually run bare feet, so it was a novel experience to have so much cushioning at the back of my feet. It did make me feel very, very bouncy and a bit of a better runner actually, because normally I'm a bit lead-footed. With the Map My Run app, you get free, I think it's called MVP status for a year with these shoes. So that was really nice because it meant that on my ultra marathon, when it all went wrong, which it did at 53 kilometers, because I had this virus and I just couldn't carry on anymore, people, my mum and my friends, knew where I was so they could come and rescue me. So the shoes know where they are, even if you don't know where you are. And you can be tracked. If you want people to track you, you can allow them to track you in the app. And that's a really nice feature, particularly for people who are nervous about going out on their own and they're a bit worried that they're going to get lost or stuck or whatever. And also for people doing races, because the people who are following you know when to get away from the burger stand and go cheer you over the finish line. Like I said, I had to stop the ultra at 53 kilometers. I just couldn't carry on anymore. That was where my drop bag was, and I had 2 other tried and trusted pairs of shoes in that bag. I wouldn't have swapped them. I would have kept these on. They were so comfy, and they did so well gripping on the trails. I mean, these are road shoes, and they gripped so well on the trail surface that I was running on, which was horrible and quite a lot of sand. They did themselves proud, I think. Even up the steepest hill, I didn't feel like I was going to slip. Everyone around me had trail shoes on. It was totally unnecessary because it was dry, but they did really, really well. They were comfy right up to the point where I just said, no, I can't do this anymore. I would have kept them on. They are, I'm so impressed with these. For a shoe that is reasonably cheap, you get loads of benefits with the MVP stuff, like the free training plans and extra data and the live tracking and all that kind of stuff. They're vegan, these shoes. I'm only a vegetarian, but I am quite glad that no animals were harmed in the making of my comfy running. So that's sort of my final note on these. Very good. I'd probably give them sort of 9 out of 10, 90 out of 100. They did fantastically well for a run that they weren't designed to run. And yeah, so well done you, Under Armour. It's a good shoe.